When you think of disappearing resources, what first comes to mind?
The rainforest.
Land.
Water is becoming the crucial resource of this century. You know, water is what they call an access resource, meaning that it's the resource that underlies all others. So whether you are building computer chips, or you're farming alfalfa, or you're building homes, or you're hydrofracking for gas, whatever it is, all of these resources require vast amounts of water. And as the climate changes, and as the population grows, as diets shift, and demographic shifts bring more people down to this part of the country, our water supplies are coming under increasing pressure.
If the world's water fit into a bucket, only 1 teaspoonful would be drinkable.
A person can only survive 3 to 5 days without water.
With the average North American household using over 400 gallons of water a day, our water supplies here in the United States are clearly stressed.
The definition of a water crisis is when the demand for water is greater than the supply available in a certain region. America first addressed the issue of a water crisis in 1970 when President Nixon established the Environmental Protection Agency to protect air, water, and land. The federal government focuses a lot on Clean Water Acts instead of thinking of ways to conserve water, but what they have done is given compensation to farmers who have had crops that suffered in the 2012 summer drought. And they also created the Great Lakes Compact. This pact was signed by President George W. Bush in 2008. It's a pact that allows cities to apply for water provisions from the Great Lakes, which hold 1/5 of the world's fresh surface water supply. The states that are involved in the Great Lakes Compact are Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Minnesota, and also the Canadian provinces of Ontario and Quebec.
Frederick Seigerfeld, a believer in water privatization, says that there is no shortage of water, at least not globally. We use a mere 8% of the water available for human consumption. Seigerfeld is not thinking ahead. Eventually, with every country's population growing, the world will run out of water.
What's your opinion on the water shortage topic?
The water shortage topics for us, especially in Wisconsin, it's a little bit of an issue right now agricultural-wise because of the drought that we've been having, but in the future I can totally see that water is going to become the next oil. We are extremely rich in water in the state of Wisconsin. The amount of groundwater we have, we've got the Great Lakes, which is the greatest freshwater source in the world, or the most water freshwater source in the world, and it's truly going to start battles as the climate gets a little drier and drier, more salt water being formed and salination of soils. It's going to become a major issue. Like I said, the next oil.
How do you think the average person will be affected by this?
I think here in Wisconsin, we may have people that want to try and exploit how much water we have and try to make profits and money off of that. Individual people, again, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think it's going to affect them as much physically because we'll still be able to do desalination and stuff like that, but the cost of getting water is going to become outrageous and something kind of like the tragedy of the commons. Poor people aren't going to be able to get it, rich will.
What do you think about globally, how people might be affected?
Globally, it's going to start wars. That's the simplest way to put it. It's going to start wars.
Alright, and then what do you believe the president can do to stop this?
What can the president do? Do a rain dance? Maybe, I don't know that he's going to be able to do a whole lot right now, currently, but they do need to start looking at more water conservation type of practices and issues, agricultural and industrial, because that's where the major amounts of water is utilized, especially here in the United States, to try and conserve every drop as possible.
As Mr. Shea mentioned, tensions will increase. In the future, global water shortages could make the U.S. a potential terrorist target. Dams and desalination plants would most likely be the first places on their list.
What you can do, Mr. President, is create some laws and regulations to help contribute to solving this problem. Maybe follow in Las Vegas's footsteps. Also, we need you to bring this topic to America's attention and help motivate citizens to take action and conserve. Little things such as taking shorter showers or shutting the water off while you're brushing your teeth can make a huge difference.
If we don't act soon, there's no question that we'll start to see more consequences. Already, in 50 years, the Colorado River is expected to dry up. This water source supports states such as Arizona, California, Nevada, and more, and people will have to rely on other sources if it runs dry. This is just one example of a major water source disappearing. Whole Living and other groups predict that nearly 2/3 of the world's population will experience water shortages by 2025. This should be a warning to all of us. If we want to have water for generations to come, we must conserve now.